Well, you're right on time for breaking today. Good evening from where you're watching us from. My name is Joel Church and our sign language interpreter is Teresia Washira. We have a lot in line for you and these are our top stories.
Let us stick to the rule of law. Let us do that which the Constitution, the law, and our oath of office tells us to do.
Martha Koome commits to defend the independence of the judiciary as she officially receives her tools of work ready to serve as the first female judiciary chief in the country.
Past administrations have made efforts to jumpstart KMC, but unfortunately, for very known reasons which I do not wish to get into here, these attempts never succeeded, and a lot of public funds went astray.
President Uhuru Kenyatta defends the move of transferring Kenya Meat Commission to the Ministry of Defense from the Agriculture docket. Education Ministry postpones the Form 1 selection exercise that was set to take place today and pushes it to June 15th. Talk to us via social media platforms at Switch TV Kenya, Joel Chacha M on Twitter, as well on Facebook, Switch TV Kenya and Joel Chacha. We're also streaming live on our YouTube channel, that is Switch TV News. Kicking off the bulletin, Chief Justice Martha Karambu Koome received her tools of work earlier today. They were handed over by her, or rather to her, by the Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, who was in acting capacity after David Maraga retired on 4th January 2021. In a colorful event, the first of its kind, Koome has promised to uphold the rule of law while promising to work closely with all arms of the government. Caroline Suma tells us more.
DCJ has indicated.
The Attorney General Paul Kiara Kariuki says Chief Justice Koome should stand up firmly for justice.
The second instrument to be handed over.
Stand up firmly for justice.
Apologies, of course, that story was prepared by Emmanuel Terrer. We'll be getting it actually right now. Where the government is committed to working with the Chief Justice Martha Koome and is willing to support the judiciary in justice dispensation, according to the government Attorney General Paul Kihara Kariuki, who was attending Chief Justice Martha Koome's instruments of power handover ceremony. It is Martha's Koome mandate to dispense justice.
DCJ has indicated.
The Attorney General Paul Kiara Kariuki says Chief Justice Koome should stand up firmly for justice.
The second instrument to be handed over.
Stand up firmly for justice as witnesses to Allah. Even if it is against yourself, my lady, the Honorable the Chief Justice, or your parents, or your brothers and sisters, or anybody in this room, stand up firmly for justice.
Retired Chief Justice David Maraga has called upon the new Chief Justice Martha Koome to keep reminding Kenyans that constitutional power is severely restricted.
Please keep reminding all of us, everybody, that constitutional power is constrained power, so that everybody keeps to his or her lane. We have a wonderful country.
On his side, Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka pledged to continue working with the judiciary to accomplish a great judicial service delivery.
You are the choice of God and you are going to lift this country. That the judiciary will remain being strong and independent, because that is where all of us go when things are not working. And as Parliament, we have been great beneficiaries of the judiciary, and I want to pledge that we'll continue working together, we'll support you and remain firm. An independent judiciary guarantees democracy.
According to the first female High Court Judge, Lady Justice Effie War, society today is more responsive to issues compared to her time in empowering the girl child.
Congratulations from all the women of Kenya. Those who have the mouth to speak, those who don't have the mouth to speak. I'm speaking for them because I know from where we have come from.
Calls to increase judiciary funding dominated the speeches at the ceremony of Chief Justice Martha Koome's office assumption. During the retired Chief Justice David Maraga's reign, there was a tussle between the government and judiciary on different matters including funding. Emmanuel Terer, Switch TV.
And now let's get the story prepared by Caroline Suma, where Chief Justice Martha Karambu Koome received her tools of work earlier today. They were handed over to her by Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, who was in acting capacity after David Maraga retired on 4th January 2021. Take a look.
Chief Justice Martha Koome has once again vowed to protect the independence of the judiciary, something she has vowed to protect since the day she was being interviewed by the Judicial Service Commission in search for a suitable replacement of David Maraga.
Judicial independence is anchored and ring-fenced in the Constitution. It behoves on every judge, every judicial officer to decline any invitation to rule on any case based on bias or ill will.
Koome also promised to ensure the judiciary will stop being termed as the parking lot of corruption.
I recognize corruption is endemic and problematic in two main ways. First, there are many corruption cases that are pending in our courts, and this has largely lowered the perception of the judiciary.
Mwilu, who handed the tools of power to Chief Justice Koome after being at the acting capacity for about 130 days, said the Chief Justice position should stop being gendered, as justice is neither male nor female.
I refuse to engender the important office of Chief Justice. You are just Chief Justice now. Forget about being a woman. Justice is neither male nor female. If anything, it could very well be transgender.
Mwilu also added that she was ready to take any task assigned, but most importantly, stick to her lane.
Today ends for Chief Justice. The rubber meets the road. We hope that you will find this as useful resource in drafting your own vision, Chief Justice. That is not to say, though, that this space is easy to be in. It is not. I discovered that in the short period I sat there, but you have God to turn to, if God be your concern.
Your leadership are among the issues that will call for your immediate attention is the pending appointment of 40 of the 41 individuals the Commission nominated for various judicial offices in June and July 2019. It is nearly 2 years since those nominations were made, and it is extremely regrettable that one of the nominees lost his life before he got his chance to serve the people of Kenya. I was present at the State House on Friday last week when His Excellency the President pledged his support to your office, Your Honor, and I hope you explore all avenues to bring the recruitment to its conclusion so that people of Kenya can benefit from the much needed manpower in the Employment and Labor Relations Court, the Environment and Land Court, and in the Court of Appeal, which now has only 13 judges following your appointment and that of Honorable Justice William Ouko to the Supreme Court.
The first to be handed over.
Among the tools of work handed over included the 2010 Constitution, precisely the one retired President Mwai Kibaki signed, the judiciary flag, Maraga's report on the state of the judiciary as from January 2021, and finally Mwilu's report on the state of the judiciary as of to date. The hard part has just begun. Chief Justice Martha Karambu Koome officially takes her role as the President of the Supreme Court of Kenya. Caroline Suma, Switch TV.
Religious leaders have condemned the ongoing onslaught by politicians to the 5 judges who ruled against the BBI. The leaders have said that the judges are being vilified for the work they're expected to do. The Dialogue Reference Group, drawn from different religious organizations, has urged all arms of government to work together. Meanwhile, they have said the handshake between the president and the ODM party leader Raila Odinga seems to have lost its original meaning, as saying there is a need to rethink on the route BBI took.
Dialogue Reference Group meeting today has noted with grave concern the vitriolic attacks that were poured out on the 5 judges of the High Court of Kenya after they delivered the ruling on the various petitions touching on the proposed amendment Constitution of Kenya through the Building Bridges initiative. These attacks should have never have happened, for no organ of state should be vivified for executing its mandate. Even when we are not satisfied with the ruling, we must always respect the judiciary and follow the due process of appeal that is provided for in law.
And now from the corridors of justice, it's a good time to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Breaking Today. My name is Joel Church and our sign language interpreter is Teresia Washira. Moving on, President Uhuru Kenyatta has defended his order for the transfer of the Kenya Meat Commission from the Ministry of Agriculture to the Ministry of Defense. President Kenyatta has said that embezzlement of funds by previous administration and the farm stewardship of the Kenya Defense Forces stands a better chance to stabilize the commission and revive the meat market in the country and internationally. Robert Ouma with the report.
In his defense, President Uhuru Kenyatta said the decision for the transfer of the Kenya Meat Commission to the Ministry of Defense was due to the noticed sparks of embezzlement of funds by the previous administration in the Ministry of Agriculture that rendered the commission unstable for quite a long time.
Past administrations have made efforts to jumpstart KMC, but unfortunately, for very known reasons which I do not wish to get into here, these attempts never succeeded, and a lot of public funds went astray.
The transfer of Kenya Meat Commission to the Ministry of Defense brought about straight attacks by various sectors, including the Law Societies of Kenya, that moved to court challenging the restructuring of the Kenya Meat Commission. In the High Court ruling 2021, the High Court ruled the transfer of the Kenya Meat Commission to the Defense Ministry from the Ministry of Agriculture was in violation of Article 10 of the Constitution, for the want of public participation succeeds.
This is a step, sir, and we sell it at 580, sir.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has added that the Ministry of Defense is well grounded and its stewardship will stabilize and open up the dying meat industry in the country.
As a key stakeholder and also a consumer of KMC products, the stewardship provided by the Ministry of Defense will provide the Commission with enormous scale, predictable product demand, better focus on efficiency, and diversification of its product lines.
The governor of Machakos, Alfred Mutua, has however said and called on the government to make a permanent mark on its projects to avoid their in-house pushes and pulls.
It is a pity, Your Excellency, that you have to start reviving things that should be operating. In Kenya, we've become a country where we build things and we may squander them, then they have to be revived again.
The Defense CS Monica Juma has noted that the ever-unending KDF encroachment land tussle will end soonest.
So far, Your Excellency, we have taken stock of all the inventory of the Commission's physical assets and equipment across the country for the purpose of accountability and, most importantly, to safeguard these assets. Among the most critical challenges is the encroachment on the KMC lands, Your Excellency. But I can also confirm, sir, the Commission's business reorganization plan has kicked off in earnest, starting with offsetting all the pending payments owed to the Commission to farmers.
President Uhuru Kenyatta said that he is confident with the new administration that it will make a record and bring forth the dim light that was laid by the previous administration. Robert Omar, Switch TV News.
Shifting gears now to matters politics, leaders from the Mount Kenya region have dismissed Muturi's elevation, accusing him of attempting to dethrone President Uhuru Kenyatta from the role before his term is over. Kandara Member of Parliament Alice Wahome pointed out that the move shows conflict of interest, where the National Speaker wants to be a spokesperson of a selected community. Muranga Senator Rungu Kangata says anyone purporting to be Mount Kenya spokesman has lost his way. According to him, Mount Kenya region is behind William Ruto.
The people of Central and Mount Kenya region, we are firmly behind William Samoei Ruto. He is our political king. Yes, my sister there is asking me about Mukurweini wa Nyagathanga. First, we Kikuyus, we do not believe in vertical leadership by one king. No, we don't believe in that. We used to be ruled by a council of elders. So anyone who is purporting to become a Kikuyu king, I think he doesn't know what he's doing. Our political king is William Samoei Ruto. And anyone who will not follow his path, we shall fight him and we shall defeat him, like the way we did in Juja.
And I am saying this without any avoidance of doubt. The Speaker of the National Assembly cannot seclude himself and offer himself as a spokesperson of Mount Kenya community, because that runs counter his national office as the National Assembly Speaker. And therefore, I think there is a major contradiction that can be used by people who are against or maybe.
And now in the business world, a probe by the Competition Authority of Kenya, CAK, has revealed that some bread makers have been hoodwinking consumers with misleading and false product information in a bid to increase sales, While not disclosing the brands engaging in the malpractices, the regulator has ordered all bakers to adhere to the Competition Act and other relevant standards. CAK said the bakers failed to provide manufacturing and expiry dates on bread wrappers, while others printed them illegibly on the seals. This comes at a time manufacturers are struggling to sell their products after an increase in the price of wheat flour, pushing up production costs since the start of the year amid a decline in bread demand in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, Safaricom Foundation has set aside 100 million Kenya shillings for its and Ndoto Zetu initiative, which calls upon Kenyans to partner with the foundation by having their community dreams and aspirations brought to life. Safaricom CEO Peter Ndegwa made the announcement at Shadrach Kimalele Secondary School in Kibra, where he officially opened a 5.4 million Kenya shillings science laboratory and abolition block constructed and equipped by the Safaricom Foundation.
Today we are delighted as Safaricom Foundation to be launching two important projects for this school. One is an ablution block that will add the toilet capacity that the boys and girls will be able to use. I've just inspected it. It's now ready for use. The students look very proud and excited that they can be able to use it from today. And then the second one is a science lab.
But we are extremely honored to be here and to partner with you to make a difference in this school. We do not take it for granted that you've invited us here to make a little contribution to support education in this area.
Since they have brought for us the ablution block, we can now limit the time we want to use, and sanitation has also improved. People don't get sick, and some of the infectious disease is not spread.
Elsewhere, the Kenya Union of Savings and Credit Cooperatives Limited, once public institutions compelled to release withheld deductions, are now standing at 4.3 billion Kenya shillings to enable SACCOs survive the virus pandemic. Cusco Managing Director George Ototo says ministries, parastatals and private employers must release the funds to improve cash flow to enable SACCOs respond to demand by members. The leaders were speaking at an annual general meeting where Western Regional Directors elected the elected regional chairperson David Muya stated that the primary SACCOs should ensure good governance in order to serve members.
A matter of non-remittances by county governments, universities, parastatals across board. In total, SACCOs across board are owed 4.3 billion Kenya shillings, which we believe, if was released to the SACCOs, then that money would be able to assist members to access affordable credit.
That at any one time, their SACCOs should be able to serve their members what is expected of them. And in the event, we have had the leaders elected in the primary SACCOs. We have encouraged them to seek training from Cusco, which will guide them on how to manage the funds of members and how to serve the same members.
On to other news, individual smallholder tea farmers affiliated with the Kenya Tea Development Agency Holdings will now own direct shareholding of the company. Alongside their respective 54 tea factories tea factory company, of course, further cementing their ownership and proprietorship in the organization. The move follows the resolutions of the KTDA holding shareholders at a special general meeting held in April this year to amend the company's articles of association to enable the allotment of the company's shares to individual farmers under a new category of shareholders known as tea farmers. Time to now get sporty as organizers embark on their final phase of the 2021 FIA, of course, a WRC Safari Rally. Kenya champion Balnev Chaga has taken a time to extol the nature of situation